a huge phenomenon. If you've never seen a race in Indianapolis, you definitely owe it to yourself to come see the Brickyard 400. And in the meantime, of course, you'll have the opportunity to see it on ABC. And speaking of seeing it, I'm going to pretend I didn't see that.
Me too.
All right. Come down to this. Jimmy Hensley, his Dodge counterpart, who was such a hero at I-70 Speedway back midway through the first half of the season, Tony Raines. I can't imagine the frustration that he's feeling right now.
I can't either. It's almost like he brushed the wall and broke a brake rotor just almost the same way that the 3 truck did.
Compton looks to be in pretty good shape. They've effected all necessary repairs on that thing. He's basically just trying to log laps here, and I don't know if they're going to let him continue in that kind of shape. He's going to have to batten down a few more of the hatches. But again, he's in that battle for Rookie of the Year, so they want to get every lap they can.
And the 18 truck is parked here on the front stretch. I don't know exactly. I guess he was pits
before they opened.
Yeah. He went to pits before the pit road was open, so they decided to hold him till the field goes by.
Again, if you miss qualifying for the Brickyard 400, you'll see it in its entirety immediately following the checkered flag here. We're going to stay with this thing to the finish. We typically would not have anticipated that this race would run 2.5 hours. We had a more than adequate time slot until Sammy Kirby knocked the fence down on the backstretch and the lights went out. So, one away from green. Here's how they line up. Hensley and Hornaday, your front row, have run 1-2 from the get-go. Sprague and Ruttman having come from 22nd spot. McLaughlin from 11 to top 5. Tolsma has held on to what he got in qualifying. Irwin charging all evening from 18th to 7th. Corelli also going forward very impressively. On back through the field, the drivers who are 1 or more laps down. But the entire focus right now is on the 2 guys at the front of the field. Jimmy Hensley will try to hold off one more assault from Ron Hornaday. Hornaday moving up alongside, just in case Jimmy had any doubt, reminding him that he was there and ready.
We completed 199 laps, but this race will end in green, white, checker. That's correct, right?
That's my understanding. It'll be 200 complete when they come by this time.
And it will be green, white, checker, I'm told in my ear. And I tell you what, there's some oil dry over in turn 2, high on the racetrack, right where the groove is. This is going to be, there we see, look at that oil dry where the cars will be running.
Jack Sprague thinks this will be perfect. They'll run down in there. Hornaday will get into Hensley. They'll both wreck. I'll win, and I'll lead the points. Here goes Raines back out with his 1-lap shootout. We're going to stay with it to the checker. Won't have the opportunity to do the winner interview, but you'll be able to catch that on RPM tonight. Hensley's on the gas. Here we go to decide it all at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Hornaday drives on the outside. He has the position. He tried this once before, and it didn't work. Hensley crowds him up high. Unbelievable. Hornaday almost clear, but not quite. Now, off turn 4 they come. And the checkered, the white flag awaits. 1 more to go. Hornaday has pulled off the miracle. And here Hensley slowing. Jimmy Hensley is slowing. There's something wrong with the Dodge. As Sprague goes by. Rubbing is trying to go by. Not at him. Hensley has seen it all go south in the last 2 laps. Hornaday is going to win it. There is Sprague tucking in front of the Dodge. It seems to be at full power. Here comes Ruttman, and 3rd and 4th will be decided at the wire. Hensley held on to it. Ruttman settles for 4th. What an amazing finish. What a performance by Hornaday.
He just sat back there. He sat back there. And guess what? We've had a lead change at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
And with that victory, Ron Hornaday has tied Mike Skinner for career victories. Let's go quickly to Marty.
As usual, he's awesome on the restarts. That was our only chance to beat Jimmy, and he pulled it off.
This is Fred. Great Fred.
This is 2 races in a row. It's come down to a last lap shootout.
Well, that's where Ryan shines the best, and he did it again tonight. I just can't believe it.
6 victories now, guys. Remember, Skinner holds the record with 8 in a season.
Hornaday right back in the thick of the championship battle. Let's have one more look at it here as it was decided on the next to last lap at IRP.
I think that oil dry in turn 2 got Jimmy Hensley going low in that corner. I don't think he wanted to drive through that oil dry. Hornaday said, that's my only shot. He drove up there, and the truck stuck.
Hornaday tested that pass earlier in the race on about the 3rd restart, and it didn't work. But when all the marbles were there to be had, he made it work to perfection. Around the outside he goes, and Ron Hornaday ties Mike Skinner on the all-time win list. Real quick, Marty.
Hey, don't even try and get out. Just stay in the truck. All right, he's going to... Here he comes. Ronnie, quick, come on down here. We're running out of time. How did you get around him on that last lap?
I'm going to say an awesome Chevrolet truck. Snap of brakes, everybody's been awesome. He's been blocking the bottom. I had to go to the outside, Del Teresa. Well, I hope you guys can do it tomorrow or Saturday. But Jimmy's been blocking the bottom. We had to go to the highway, took the Chevrolet, and see what we could do with it. But this thing's been tough all day, you know. It's like a rock.
Win number 6, guys.
Great job down there, Marty Reed. Our thanks for your coverage on Pit Road. Coming up next, Brickyard 400 qualifying. I'm Dave Despain for Benny Parsons saying, hey, we had a pretty exciting little truck race tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. We're back tomorrow night for all the Busch activity here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, where Ron Hornaday has claimed the 1997 running of the Cummins 200. Terrific frustration on the part of Jimmy Hensley, but here is the joy of victory. Tell you what, that championship looks like it's right there, Benny.
Yes, it really is. Rich Bickle will finish 10th tonight, so it's going to be almost a tie between he and Jack Sprague in the 24.
Thank you all for being here, and so long from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Special presentation of TNN Motorsports. In 1996, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion Ron Hornaday was considered the hunted. With 9 races remaining in 1997, Ron Hornaday has become the hunter. Hornaday has been on a vicious tear, winning 6 of the last 8 races, staring down the top 3 leaders, Jack Sprague, Rich Bickle, and Joe Ruttman. Now, as the sun sets over Music City, USA, the question arises, can the hunter catch his prey? You are looking at one of America's most famous short tracks. Tonight, the Nashville Speedway USA plays host to the Federated Auto Parts 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This racetrack has been hosting NASCAR events since 1958, but tonight is only the second time that the Craftsman trucks have been here, and there's a fellow who wants to get to victory lane. He's been there virtually every time the series goes to a short track. Ron Hornaday has won 5 consecutive short track events and 6 races in the last 8 starts. He is the hot man on a very hot night in Nashville, Tennessee. Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to Music City, USA. Temperature is still in the 90s, unseasonably warm. And that's the operative term also for the point standings in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Unseasonably warm. A 5-point spread, as you see on the vent visor point standings. Vent visor, the most practical accessory for your truck, shows you that from 1st to 4th, only 84 points separating the top 4 men. So what happens tonight could certainly shuffle the point standings. Buddy Baker joins us this evening, a former winner at this racetrack under Harry Hyde's tutelage back in 1973. You know, you knew this racetrack well, and that's why you ran well here. Same for Joe Buford, a new name that we'll be talking a lot about here tonight.
Eli, you're exactly right. He did the impossible. First truck race ever Top 5. He's starting in 5th. I think he's going to be a factor tonight.
There you see the qualifying lap he turned in here yesterday. He is a standout on the local late model stock car circuit. He has 6 wins at this racetrack, Glenn Jarrett. What do you think the chances are of him pulling an upset here this evening?
Well, Eli, I think he's got great chances. He has 23 career wins here at Nashville. Joe, you told me a little while ago that this was the biggest day of your career. A win tonight would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. We just want to get out here and pace ourselves tonight in this truck race because I'm new to these bigger motors and radial tires. I just want to get out here and ride and try to get a good finish out of tonight.
Best of luck to you. Eli, he's got a great truck. This is a truck that they purchased from Roush Racing. His crew chief, Earl Owens, is a good friend of Joe Ruttman. He helped swing the deal. We'll walk all up the grid here. Brian Refner starts 4th. Point series leader Jack Sprague will go off 3rd in the Quaker State Chevrolet. And then Ron Hornaday, we've already told a story on him. Man, he wins everything. Starting on the pole tonight, Mike Bliss had a little bit of an up-and-down season so far. Hasn't had a win yet. Looking to get that first one here tonight, Mike. Great starting position.
Yeah, you couldn't start any farther back and not be happy about this. We're pretty happy about the pole. The ASC team works real hard, and we're excited. We got a good truck here.
We saw these guys the best of luck. Eli, I can't wait for this thing to get started. This was one of my favorite racetracks. We're going to have a whale of a show.
Glenn Jarrett ran here on the NASCAR Busch Series schedule many a time for Marvin Faxton. Glad you're with us. A warm night in Nashville, some pretty hot racing coming up next on TNN. Live coverage of the Federated Auto Parts 250 from Nashville Speedway, USA is brought to you by Federated Auto Parts Stores. Professional advice, brand name parts. And by the new Dodge. It's about change. A beautiful night here in Nashville, Tennessee, as we check out the AutoZone prep for the race. Brought to you by the more than 1,650 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. There you see 34 trucks going green out of the 41 who made their way to Nashville Speedway. If you're not familiar with this racetrack, the turns and straights are both banked 18 degrees. The straightaways are 750 feet long. So we have got ourselves this evening a .596 mile racetrack for the grand total of 149 miles of racing. Right now, trackside, Jeff Link, who is the president of the Gaddy Manufacturing and Supply Company, is about to give the command we've all been waiting for.
Race fans, for those most famous words in auto racing, the national chairman of Federated Auto Parts, Jim Link.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Federated Auto Parts 250 here on TNN Motorsports tonight. 3rd pole of the year for Mike Bliss. 7 wins this year for Ron Hornaday. The series point leader is Jack Sprague, and the pole winner a year ago here, Brian Refner. The local late model star is Joe Buford. A brand new crew this week for Butch Miller. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. Boris Said, who has the Federated colors on his truck. And there you see some of the other faces that we'll be talking about as our evening continues. Rookie of the Year contenders there in row number 5. Row number 6, Idaho's Tolsma and Massachusetts' Resendiz. 2 Busch Series races here for Chuck Bound, California's Kevin Harvick. Tom Hubert, his 2nd start in that truck. Toby Butler here for the first time. Joe Ruttman 3rd in points. He's 52 down. And Bob Keselowski, who was quick in practice. Missouri's Tony Roper and the Ford of Rob Rizzo. Mike Wallace, he's run here before. Terry Cook was last week's pole winner in Flemington. Wayne Anderson is 10th in points in the Slim Jim All-Pro Series. And Tony Raines, who ran here in the ASA days. Rich Bickle still nursing some injuries. Brad Teague, the veteran. Jimmy Hensley has run well here. And a brand new truck for Jay Sauter. No sponsor this week for Tammy. Joe Kirk could be the end of the line for that racing team. Andy Houston's 2nd race in the series. 4 consecutive top 10 finishes. Rick Corelli, Kenny Irwin in on a provisional start. That's Barry Bodine. And Eric Norris has gathered the ride that Jerry Robertson began the weekend with here in Nashville, Tennessee. The field begins to roll, the first of 3 pace laps. And when we come back, a look at the in-truck cameras, then the green flag. We're coming right back. lap away from going green here at Nashville Speedway. Fred Graves figuring how quickly he can get to victory lane when this is over. He's the crew chief for Ron Hornaday. But Mike Bliss, who's carrying our on-truck cameras today, will be trying to spoil Ron Hornaday's run. There is Ron, who's won 5 short track races in succession. Boris Said here at Nashville, Tennessee, starting 7. Tom Hubert, he's in the Dana Dodge this weekend. Second time he's driven the number 18 truck this year. And Rich Bickle, 5 points down in the championship race, and his ribs are still banged up, Buddy Baker.
Yeah, he told me that, you know, on his left side he has 3 broken ribs on the back and 1 on the front side.
There you see those who didn't qualify, including Frank Kimmel, who's 3rd in the ARCA points right now. ARCA regular Blaze Alexander. Bill Sedgwick, surprisingly, having to go home. Brian Cunningham, who wrecked yesterday. Doug George. All right, we're set to go racing. Glad you're with us on a beautiful, though warm, Saturday night in Music City, USA. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, and the green is in the air.
There was a little contact there getting in turn 1 between Hornaday and Jack Sprague. You can see both trucks got a little bit sideways. They were very, very lucky not to spin there. You can see the dust where they have concrete dust down to take a little bit of the heat out of this racetrack in this high heat today.
High heat today, and concrete dust will basically absorb some of the heat and lower the track temperature as much as 10 to 15 degrees. And they put that down ever since the final practice concluded at roughly 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern. And Sprague got kind of caught up in that and loses a spot now. He'll drop back to 4th. Ryan Reffner in the 66 grabs 3rd.
That green truck there, that's Jack Sprague. He's the points leader right now, having his hands full. The truck seems to be very, very loose as he starts into the corner.
There is Jack Sprague by 5 points. The leader of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Fast in practice all day yesterday, as was Ruttman, as was Hornaday, as was Keselowski. There you see the spread from 10th towards the front. 70 is Buford, 66, 24 right there is Sprague. We've been talking about Jack. His dad is in attendance here this evening. Wants to do well for the family looking on.
You're riding with Boris Said as they start down in the corner. You see down the front straightaway, right out against the wall. Now, as they start in, they